In this video, I'm going to talk you through the Complete GP Workflow Automation Studio. So we're after building an automation suite that's going to help you automate any task in your clinic. So any sequence of events which you might have to do manually at the moment, there's a really good chance that you're going to be able to automate them using our new Workflow Automation Studio. So let's have a look. So if we come in here, we can see that we have certain saved automations that we might be using already. We've got templates where we have pre-configured and built automations for you, which we believe will align with your clinic workflow. There's an automation builder that we're going to look at in a moment where you can create your own and edit the workflows. And there's a place where you can see all the recent runs of any automation events that have already taken place. So let's just have a look at some of these templates. So an example of an automation might be a CDM pre-visit Mediform and reminder. So if we read through what we have here, when a CDM booking is made, prepare an encounter, issue a Mediform to the patient, put it on their patient portal so they have access to it, message the patient, and then notify the doctor when it's completed and keep sending reminders to the patient until the point where the appointment starts. We have other automations that might look at if an appointment was cancelled, that you trigger, so when the appointment was cancelled, that you check if the patient is still active in your system, that you send them a rebooking message, and then create a task for a member of your administration team to follow up that patient. So other things might be if there was a no-show for an appointment, or we have an automation here for medication review, or if someone is given a new diagnosis. Okay, so let's have a look at what an automation actually looks like. So if we use this CDM pre-visit Mediform and reminder as an example, if we click on Use Template, it'll bring us into our automation builder. And this is a graphical way where we can see exactly what the automation steps are, what tasks it performs, and we can edit and adjust them. It should be noted that I'm starting from a working template here, but you can also just create a new automation using a blank slate, and you can create it completely bespoke for your clinic. So in our example automation, it all starts with an appointment being booked. Okay, so we have a trigger here, an appointment being booked. And you can see that all it takes to trigger this off is any appointment being booked in the system. Then what's going to happen is there's going to be a logical flow where it checks to see, is this a CDM visit? Because that's what this template is for. So we're going to, again, you can see the logic on the right hand side as to how this is defined, and you can edit it if you wish. But for our example, what's going to happen is an appointment is booked. The system is then going to check, is this a CDM visit? If the answer is no to that, nothing will happen, because we only want this flow for CDM visits at the moment. If the answer happens to be yes, then the system will take an action, and it's going to, that action is that it's going to create a draft encounter. So it's going to create a new visit for the patient. So a draft visit, a draft encounter is created. Then within that visit, it's going to create a draft Mediform. And this Mediform is a CDM Mediform, where basically we're asking all the questions that could be asked in advance of the patient for their CDM visit. And again, you can see as I click on different tiles here, you can see the details changing on the right hand side, where you can configure exactly what each step does and what action it takes. Then once the CDM Mediform has been created in this example, we might want to publish it to the patient portal. Okay, so again, that means that that Mediform is now available for the patient to complete. We're going to send them an invitation to complete the Mediform that's been published to the portal. So that can be either by email or SMS. And you can see here on the right hand side, you can define exactly what goes out in that communication. So hello, patient name, we've prepared your CDM form for the appointment on, and then the appointment date. Please log into the patient portal and complete it before you arrive. Thank you, etc. But again, you can edit all of that. Then what the system is going to do, it's going to wait for the form to be completed. Once the form has been completed by the patient, it's going to notify the patient's doctor that the form has been completed and that it's in their chart. It's also going to have a delay logic here. So after 2 days, the system is going to see, has the form actually been completed or not? And if the form is not complete, if it's still incomplete, then it's going to check, okay, is that appointment still in the future, or has it already happened? If that appointment is still in the future, then it's going to send a reminder to the patient. And that reminder email, again up here, you can see the text that it says, and you can adjust it. And after it's sent that reminder to the patient, it's going to come back, it's going to wait Another 2 days. After 2 days, it'll check again, see if the form is incomplete. If it's incomplete, and then it'll check is the appointment date passed. If not, it's going to send them another reminder. And again, that's just one example. If you didn't want to send the reminders, if you just wanted to have the system send out the Mediform and wait for its completion, then you can just easily remove the steps that you don't want. You can clean up the workflow so that, again, it only does exactly what you want. You're in total control of the automation. But basically, it's just showing that how you can take any sequence of logical events or things that you want to have happen. You can apply conditions, weights, actions to them so that you get the outcome that you want out the other side. Once it's done, you can come down here and you can run a test. You can run a test and see what happens, okay? And it'll tell you exactly that it went okay. It'll go through the different steps. It'll show you some technical details as to what happened. And once it's actually running in live, you can see here what recent runs have taken place.